Hello there, my darling dragon friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ariel. I am the Sassy Dragon, and today we are reviewing the newest flanker from the Miss Dior line for Dior, and that will be Miss Dior Essence, the Eau de Parfum. Let me turn that back around. And my bunny's fur is on the bow. I have pet bunnies. I was just brushing them and their fur is still everywhere. But this one is a really interesting one because it is the, I don't know if this is the second or third installment from Francis Kurkdjian, who is the perfumer behind this, but this fragrance has been getting a lot of very mixed reviews, to put it mildly. It feels like every other comment I read is somebody really hating this one. So this is definitely going to be a love or a hate for a lot of people. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. And it has something to do a little bit with some nostalgia for a fragrance that I've kind of smelled before, something very similar, that is no longer anywhere that I can get it. So let's go ahead and spray this on. The top notes on this one from Fragrantica.com are blackberry, marmalade, and black elder. So it comes very strongly with, you know, a strong fruity berry smell. It's a little woodsy. You can definitely smell that right away because the base notes are woods and oak. So you really do get this sort of fruit, you know, forward, very berry forward. But the sweetness of it is, I think, nicely tempered with the woodsy notes. The middle notes are a jasmine sambac and jasmine. So we have two jasmines in the center of this. But I would not say that this is a super strong jasmine scent. I think the jasmine is really well blended here because it comes across a little more clean, a little more soapy. And so it just kind of serves as a sort of floral glue, if you might say, between those fruitier berry notes and then the woodsy notes. The thing that I'm really enjoying the most about the berries in this is, like I said, I don't feel like they're overly sweet. They're also not overly tangy. They do feel pretty authentic to what, you know, berries smell like. Yes, you have a little sweetness with that marmalade because when you have a marmalade, you know, there's going to be some sugar. There's going to be a little bit of, you know, something sweet added to it. But to me, you know, comparing it to other super, super sweet fragrances, it's not too much. Some people are sure going to disagree with me. They're going to say it's a sugar bomb, but just smelled by itself, it's not overwhelmingly sweet. I feel like there are way sweeter fragrances that have just come out than this one for sure. The thing about this, as I wore it more and more, was it was reminding me of one of my favorite smells from the past, and that was, and I still have a couple bars of this because just for my insane nostalgia, from the old Caswell-Massey stores, and I had to just share this with you because these are something you are never going to see again, unfortunately. They used to make these amazing glycerin soaps, and this one was the Cassis, the Black Currant. It was my favorite, and even look at the way they would wrap these up with the purple tissue paper. And there's something about this soap that reminds me a lot of this perfume. And obviously this is older. This is like, I probably bought this in, you know, the mid to late 90s when I was a much younger dragon. And but oh my goodness, this has so much of that in common because it has those berries. It has a little sweetness, but also a little bit of, you know, woodsiness. It has that slightly green and yet slightly fruity, you know, balance. And there's something about the jasmine, and I was wearing this a few days ago, and I said, you know, this is wild because it literally smells to me like the black currant soap or a blackberry soap because it has this slightly, very subtle, little soapy kind of note to it, and it really almost smells like just that very subtle hint of that glycerin soap to my nose. It's very interesting to smell it. This one does not, to me, have a whole lot of layers. It really has just a few, right? It doesn't go through a lot of evolution as you're wearing it. You know, I would say that, you know, and that's another reason I actually like it, because a lot of fruit, you know, floral or fruit forward perfumes on me, my chemistry, my skin just tends to absorb and eat up the fruity scent. And so I never really get to enjoy the fruit part of a lot of fruity scents. And so I end up not liking them very much because that part of it just goes away so quick. But this one on me, the fruit notes last really well throughout the wear. The woodsy notes come out just a little bit more as it's, you know, on the skin longer. But overall, I think it stays pretty true to what it smells like in the beginning. I think that people who really remember like the classic Dior's, the Francois Demachy, you know, era of Miss Dior, which no doubt I think was probably amazing. I didn't get to smell a whole lot of the scents from that era because I really didn't start getting into Dior perfumes that far back. But, you know, people always are going to bring up Miss Dior Cherie everywhere I look as a comment. I've never smelled it, but you hear it all the time. People just absolutely adore that fragrance. So I wish I could smell it. I think people that are looking for that in the newer flankers and these newer, you know, iterations are going to be disappointed. You can't really compare one to the other because these are kind of their own thing, and you're either going to like it or you're not. I personally do enjoy this one quite a bit. It does bring back some very fond memories. It does remind me a lot of my beloved Black Currant Caswell-Massey soap from the 90s, and I love that about it. And so that's something I would say. I really think, for me, it's not something everybody's saying, oh, it's just another generic fruity floral, blah, 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 blah. I don't think so. Because for me, most fruity florals, there's been so many strawberries lately, and don't get me wrong, I adore strawberry. I just love it. There are a good number of black currant or cassis accented fragrances out there, but there's not one that's had quite that blend of the blackberry and that black elder. And I do think it comes out really nicely in this one. So I think it's worth trying if you think you're going to like those kind of notes. I just blind bought this based on the scent, based on the fact that I did enjoy the previous flanker last year, the Perfume that he did. I really enjoyed that one. And I like the Essence too. So if you're looking for a fruity floral that maybe your skin won't completely eat it up, if you love blackberries, if you love that kind of, you know, black currant cassis family like I do, you may really enjoy this one. It has great longevity. And yeah, I've had a lot of people compliment me already on this when they, you know, either given me a hug or I've seen them. They're like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. So I know people do enjoy it when it's around. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Give me your comments, your thoughts, whether you love it or hate it. Tell me what you think of it, and if there are other perfumes you would like me to try in the future and do a review of, please do mention those as well. I always love to hear your thoughts because I am definitely not an end-all be-all on perfume. I just love the stuff, and we're here just learning about it. So let me know all of your info, all your goodies, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.